that obsession about getting better is what is a standout, because you just do the simple tasks that we know in real estate moves the business forward a lot more than everybody else.
What advice would you give to some newer agents?
Just have a long-term vision, and if you do it today and you do it in 5 days and you do it in 3 months, in 5 years you'll have a great career.
So that consistency is really the key, isn't it?
If somebody needs a deal done tonight and they live 3 hours away, I'll drive there. Like, that's literally what I say. And people are like, this guy's a freak. If you're young, keep your ego in check.
I wish there was more of that, because there's way too much ego in the real estate industry, which is probably why everyone hates us. Agents, welcome to the Get Keen podcast, your #1 destination for learning how to get the most out of your real estate career. I'm Dan Lee, founder of Plum Property, one of Queensland's largest independent real estate offices, and Plum Partners, where we've helped dozens of agents create, run and grow their very own agencies. On Get Keen, I chat to high-performing agents, principals, and agency owners, so you have the tools, strategies, and insights to grow your business and live the best life for yourself and your family. Now let's get keen. Guys, welcome back to Get Keen. We got the ARIC special. We're down here on the Gold Coast, and we've got all the best speakers at ARIC on the show, and we've probably got the youngest of the speakers on stage here for this weekend, Mr. Jordan Bulmer.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So Jordan comes from a very successful background in real estate. He's currently working with one of the highest performers in Australian real estate. If you're in real estate and you don't know who Matt Steinway is, I don't know where you've been. You obviously don't get on social media, and you're not doing anything in real estate social media-wise, because he's all over my feed. He's a really high performer. And Jordan, you're part of Matt Steinway's office and team?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I've been at Matt's company my whole career.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to dive in to that a little bit, but before that, what's it like to, get asked to speak on stage at ARIC at only 30 years old?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It means you're doing something right. But look, I've had a very close relationship. If you think about the people that have trained me, it's John McGrath, who owns the conference essentially, and Matt, So I've had a pretty good leap from the both of them. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
So tell us how you got into real estate. What's the journey looked like so far?
It's pretty interesting, actually, how I got into real estate. It's the last thing I thought I would be doing. I met one of Matt's agents. I don't know what it was, and we were just having a conversation. He said, you got to start. I was doing marketing at this point. It's like I was 19. I was doing integrated marketing. He says, you should be a real estate agent. He goes, you'd be great at it. He goes, just the way you talk, your energy. I said, no way. Everybody hates you guys. You guys are like the biggest wankers, right? I said, I don't want to do that. I said, I don't think it's for me. I'm second year in uni doing marketing. I think I'm going to do this. And he called me back about 3 months later. He said, you should just give it a go. Don't drop out of uni. Just give it a go. Anyway, I remember like the first day I was like, oh, this is me. I'm obsessed. Like literally day one. And
you are a wanker.
Yeah, here I am. I'm in with the mix now. Yeah. But yeah, that was the transition. I didn't think I was going to. I tried and I loved it, essentially. Okay. So I started with a guy named Chris Smith, who was just really starting in Matt's office. And I stayed with him a couple of years. And it was in an area I didn't like, and then I sort of was going to leave the company. And Matt's a little bit of a ghost, right? Like, you never see him. He sort of goes to appointments, drops in, drops out. I hadn't really probably been within 2 meters of him before in the 3 years, 2 or 3 years I was in the company. And I see him in the kitchen, and I go, look, thanks for everything, I'm leaving. I don't know if he knew how. He goes, what are you leaving for? I said, I didn't like the area I was working in. I love real estate, but I think I'm going to go and work for Gavin Rubenstein. Gav wouldn't even known that. I was going to knock on his door and say, give me a job. And he goes, don't do that. And I said, why? He said, do you want to live in Sydney for the rest of your life? I said, no. Why do you ask that? He goes, if you start a career there, and you start getting momentum, you won't ever want to leave, because starting in real estate or starting in a marketplace is very difficult. He said, why don't you join my team? It's in Terrigal. It's where you live. I've got no roles apart from the cadet. So I was 2 or 3 years being a buyer agent. He goes, you just got to be my cadet. I went, all right, no problem. So I started as his cadet, and I did no real estate for 3 years. I dropped his car to get serviced. I picked his kids up from school when it was appropriate. Anything you could physically think of that wasn't real estate, I did. Yeah, I just did it with a smile on my face, and I went, yep, no problem. I did it with passion, and I just got a little better, And then I started showing some properties and then this and that. And now after all of these years, we're business partners. But it's just been a slow process, and I just did whatever I had to do, and I did a great job at it. So that's been my process.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So starting at the bottom with the real, shit kicker jobs, but with an end goal in mind.
Yeah. I didn't think of it as a I thought people pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars to speak. I get to sit beside him and just listen to him work. So whether I'm doing real estate or I'm dropping a car, whatever it may be, I get to be beside this guy pretty much every waking minute of the day. And from that, I'm just going to learn how to be great. So that's how I saw it.
Massive value. Just being, working with, being around someone who's got that, that just drive to be awesome all the time. What's it like working with Matt on his team? Like he's a pretty intense guy from the outside looking in.
Look, it's been the best years of my life, but it's like I started Hell Week. They could put the army soldiers through there, and it's never ended. Probably. I'm the longest person in his team to ever last, longer than 2 years, because it's literally you dedicating your whole life to it.
Okay.
So we work, I'm up 4:30 till sort of 8 o'clock. I work every minute I have my eyes open, Monday to Saturday. Then we keep Sundays a family day. And a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like people go, oh, no, I want to have a life. But I just went, no, this is my life. It's changed a little bit now, but early on, that's all I did. So I love working with Matt. Yeah, I think he's excellent.
So has your job, because now you're doing 40 deals yourself, plus helping Matt with another 40 deals as secondary agent.
Yeah.
Like, on average per year now. Are you still doing all those before jobs? Are you full-time agent now?
Well, I've only really started focusing on listing properly in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So everybody's probably heard that Matt's son passed away, which was absolutely devastating a couple of years ago. And I think that changed the structure of the team a lot. Matt's a lot more and he always has been a family man, but a lot more focused on maybe the balance of his life, being with his family a lot more, because it's a never-ending beast, real estate.
Yeah.
It will take every second from you that you give it, right? So I was essentially his buyer agent, cadet, and then transitioned into his buyer's agent for many, 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 many years. And if I got a listing lead, Matt would deal with the listing and I would sell. And that was just how it always had been. So I'd manage the auctions. But only the last couple of years, Matt's like, I'm going to step back and I want you to take over more of the listing within the team. So that's where I focus my energy now. But he still lists and I still sell for him. But I'm probably a 50% listing agent, 50% selling.
Yeah, cool.
Like that's probably the balance.
And now you're growing your own profile.
Yeah, but we'll always stay together.
For
I hope
sure.
we always stay together because we've got a good synergy. But yeah, it's a bit of a unique, the way the team works is a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that reason, essentially.
I mean, as you said, you're obviously doing something right to get up on the stage at ARIC. Like, you don't get that call if you're average. What are two things you think you're really good at that gives you a competitive edge?
Probably work ethic. I've always had a really good work ethic. Yeah. And, like, if you're just starting in real estate, right, and you've got no skill, what do you really have to offer? You got work ethic, you got willingness, you got great energy, you got coachability. So that's all I've really offered. But like, you got to make some serious sacrifices in real estate. You seriously do. Like, I've sacrificed my whole 20s. And most people go, I don't want to do that. Well, it's your life. Like, I was surfing, I was probably in the process of becoming a professional surfer before I started in real estate. It's very difficult. You earn no money. I made a transition. When I started in real estate, I stopped surfing. I gave it up. I love surfing more than ever, but I was like, why would I go surfing for an hour and a half if I can go and practice my listing presentation for an hour and a half? So I think that obsession about getting better is what is a standout, because you just do the simple tasks that we know in real estate moves the business forward a lot more than everybody else. And then the second thing is transitioning into a listing agent. I got extremely good at listing. Okay. Like, I'd list nothing early on because young, no skill, didn't know the process, didn't really know what my listing presentation needed to look like. I practiced, I learnt my key differences, I role played, I practiced objections, and now I don't lose many, because I thought early on, if you don't get the business, the whole real estate process doesn't exist. So most people can create a lead. Hey, do you want to sell your house? And a lot of times, then someone says, yes, you create a lead. You've got to be able to list it. So the two things would be crazy work ethic which I think everybody's got to have, especially in the early years, and then learning how to actually get the business.
Okay. And so getting really good at a listing presentation. Yeah. What are some techniques that you've used to get really good? Yeah.
So Matt trained me how to list, and so did John. I just worked out a bit of a flow for the listing, a bit of a track for me to run on, the main key points that people want to talk about. I just got really good at explaining those and having a conversation about it with whoever I was listing with. And then I nailed my key differences, what my 3 key differences were.
I'd love to know what they are.
Yeah, my unique selling points compared to everybody else in our marketplace. And then if I couldn't close in the business, I couldn't close the business in the listing presentation, I'd close with my follow-up.
Yeah.
Matt and I put together probably one of the best follow-up systems, I think, in the industry. And that's really the 3 things that got it all happening for me. But a lot of practice, like role play. Like I'd say to John McGrath, Johnny, can I come down for an hour, do a listing presentation to Matt, to everybody, hours, like in the office at 6 o'clock, practicing objections. So it was a lot of time.
That's a big one because most agents will not practice outside a listing presentation where you're practicing to lose. So, no one, professional sports people don't, just go on there and practice in the game. You got to practice outside. How many hours would you spend, like, in your, not obviously less now, but, when you're becoming that listing agent and you're not getting huge results yet, how much would you spend?
Oh, every day I role play, but
every day.
Yeah. Like, and I'm so lucky. I have probably one of the greatest real estate agents. Just, hey, what should I do here? So even if I feel like, I've got this situation covered, I just say, hey, Matt, from a helicopter view, this is what the scenario is. Can you see anything? This is what I was going to do or say. Can you see anything that I maybe might be missing here? And we talk about it, but we role play 2 hours a week, whatever may be on my mind, like whatever problem I'm working on, wherever I think the craft needs to be dialed in a little bit, we'll work on pretty much every week. Yeah.
You mentioned that you really nailed your key differences in a listing presentation.
Yep.
Can I know if I'm a seller and I say, Jordan, I like you, but there's another agent I've known for a long time.
Yeah.
Why should I sell with you? What are your key differences?
Yeah, so the first thing that I talk about is my team. Why wouldn't I? I say, you're not just listing with me, you're listing with 2 probably of the greatest agents of all time, in Matt Steinway, Trevor Hamilton, and myself. So the 3 of us actually work in our EBU. We've got 2 very experienced EAs and marketing directors. One of them worked for John McGrath 15 years. We've got 2 buyer agents and a cadet. So no one's doing nothing non-dollar productive. Me as your agent, with the support of my team, is only literally talking to you and dealing with buyers. That's it. So that's the one thing. The second thing I talk about McGrath as a brand, because I think the connection to Sydney, we've got 10 offices on the Central Coast, we've got 150 agents. I think that's a key difference in our marketplace.
Sure.
There's a lot of agents that are a one-man band, or them and an assistant, or they're like a corner store, fish and chip shop essentially, where McGrath I see more as, say, a McDonald's restaurant. And then the last key difference I say is me. I say nobody here would sit and pitch marketing or advise you in marketing that has a degree in marketing. So that sets me apart from everybody else. And I said, you just never seen somebody work like I work, around the clock.
Yeah, nice.
Like, test me. I say, call me at 4 o'clock, I'll answer. Call me 10 o'clock at night, I'll answer. And you need that, because if somebody needs a deal done tonight and they live 3 hours away, I'll drive there. Like, that's literally what I say. And people are like, this guy's a freak, So I think me being the last one, those 3 things are a standout, but sometimes depending on the person, I might change it if there's other things that are important to them, but they're mainly the top 3.
Well, what advice would you give to some newer agents that maybe in their first year or about to get into real estate? Some advice to help them fast track to get some success like you.
Yeah, I would pick an area that I like, that I'm passionate about. I'd get involved with the community. I'd work 1,000 houses. I'd stay in touch with people regularly over a long period of time. Like, prospecting is pretty easy, right? If you do it consistently. You work an area, hey, look, do you want to sell your house? Look, your neighbour's house has come up on the market. Your neighbour's house is sold. You generate a lead. If you do that regular enough, like I said, you'll get an opportunity to pitch for the business, and then you just got to be able to grab it. But like, most people won't get traction for 5 years.
Yeah.
I think, sorry, just to jump in here,
Yeah.
if I was giving advice with that, I'd say just worry about killing the day.
Yeah.
Because that can spin you out a little bit. Oh, what do I need to do this year? What do I need to do in 3 years? All I think about is, what does a 10 out of 10 day look like for me? Like, what are my KPIs that if at the end of the day I do, I'm like, yep, that was a good day. And mine is 20 connects, 2 buyer appointments, and 2 MOs. And if I've done 1 buyer appointment and 5, I'm not leaving the office.
So what's your perfect day? 20 connections?
20 connects
Yeah.
into my area.
Yeah.
2 buyer appointments and 2 market opinions or market appraisals.
Okay, yeah.
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 And I just do that every day or close to it. And then I just would say, if I was a year in, just have a long-term vision. And if you do it today and you do it in 5 days and you do it in a week, in 2 weeks and in 3 months, in 5 years, you'll have a great career.
Yeah.
But I would probably not think you're going to be a superstar in a year.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So that consistency is really the key, isn't it?
Just what I've got to do today.
Yeah. I think you forgot one thing with that advice, and that would be probably because you've had it very luckily, as you've said, great mentorship.
Yeah.
How important has it been for your career so far to have the chance to work with someone like Matt? And how important is it, do you think, for a young person getting into real estate to look for that?
Yeah. Look, I've been probably one of the luckiest agents in the country with that. But, like, these people have got to want to give you their time. Like, Matt just didn't go, I'm going to make this kid a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was looking at me going, I've never seen someone like this in my life work the hours that this guy does. Like, he's worth spending the time on. Not everybody has the access to mentors, but I would recommend getting a coach. If you can't get access to a mentor, get a coach. But every single day that I wake up, I go, what can I do today to impress Matt? Like, that's what I want to do. I want to impress Matt. I want to impress John. Like, that's all I'm thinking, because what they're giving to me, I'm also trying to give back in making it worth their time to actually spend it on me, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey guys, just quickly, if you're loving this content and you're a real estate agent that's already thinking what it might be like to have your own real estate business and brand, then check out the show notes. There'll be a link to our Plum Partners website where you can leave an inquiry and me or one of my team members will reach out. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own real estate business and brand so they can earn more and set up a better future for themselves. So get keen, get in touch. Now let's get back to the episode. So in your stage where you are now, are you still doing a lot of prospecting?
Yeah.
What does your prospecting plan look like?
I'll be super honest. I was a terrible prospector. I'm only just getting good at it now because I had the opportunity to be in a team with amazing momentum. So I could just create stuff from what I could see. Mm-hmm. Like, there was just so much buyer momentum. Mm-hmm. I just say, what are you doing with your house now? Like, I could just see all of this opportunity, and that's where I created a lot of the business. But I'm only now dialing it back into a marketplace, because as I've gotten busier, I've got a listing here and a listing there and this, and I don't know what it's worth. I don't have buyers from it. Only now that I've started to grow a lot am I only finding the problems with that. So, yes, we listed a lot out of our area, which is Womble Terrigal, but I'm pretty focused on trying to have all the business in there now. So I'm going back to the do you want to sell your house? But do you want to sell your house? The neighbour's house has come on, sold, whatever it may be. But I've always felt with me, I've always been better at making a prospecting call with a reason. Let me give you an example. There's somebody at the moment that wants to buy a beachfront in Womble. They got like something of an unlimited budget. I find that call much easier. Hey, look, it's Jordan, working with a client from Sydney. There's no beachfront sales for 4 years. Just being proactive. I just wanted to see if you'd have any thoughts of selling your beachfront if it was a great price. Like, these people sort of have a bit of an unlimited budget, you know, they just want to try and find the right one. I found that heaps easier.
Yeah.
Than just knocking and being a weirdo and going, hey, do you want to sell your house? So I think with prospecting too, you got to know what you're good at and try and do what you're good at.
Yeah. And I think with calls as well, getting some training around structure of how to call, you know, having a genuine reason to call that's valuable to the person on the other end of the line, you'll get a lot more cut through.
Yeah.
So you're starting to get listings now. You've done 40 of your own in the last year. Quite impressive. What's the best marketing idea that's got you some listings?
I do a lot of good marketing things because of my background in marketing. So everything that I do, I think, have you read the book Purple Cow?
I haven't read
Basically, in summary, it says if you're driving through farms and you see a pack of normal cows, you wouldn't say anything, you wouldn't look. But if there's in that pack there's a purple cow, you're like, wow, it's a purple cow.
Yeah.
So everything that I put out into my marketplace, you're very good at it actually. Like your whole marketing is pretty much that. I think, is this purple cow marketing? Yeah. If the answer is yes, it goes out. If it's no, then it doesn't. Because I want every single thing that I do to be like stop people in their tracks. So a few things I've done. I've just pretty much sent out. I regularly am in the letterbox with different things, but the system that we run on is we do DLs pretty much weekly to our suburb.
Okay. How many houses?
1,000.
1,000 houses,
Yeah.
and they go out weekly.
Yeah.
So every letterbox in that 1,000 gets something from
They probably get 4.
Jordan or Jordan and
a
Matt.
team. So it's all everything's branded our team.
A team. Okay. Yeah.
Every month we write a letter.
And that goes like
Like it might be
them.
like the supplies down, a lot of buyers around. This is what's happening, whatever it may be. We put it out. Every 3 months we do what we call something cool. Like we design a marketing that is like, wow, that's pretty decent, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Every 6 months.
And that would be a letterbox drop as well?
Yeah. We hand drop a 6 monthly report. Everybody knows, we call it the Womble Report. We drop that out. I sponsor the golf club. I put on a thing every single year. It's called the Jordan Bulmer Cup.
And I invite on social media.
So I invite pretty much clients, neighbours. It's a pretty big thing, but I letterbox drop that as well. I get videos, I produce it. We just did a Who is Jordan Bulmer campaign, which is something that Matt did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it just said basically a photo of me and then a quote or whatever it may be, and then another one, and then another one, then who is Jordan Bulmer, then another one, then another one. So that got people talking.
And that goes to just your core area,
on social
the
and core
1,000,
area.
But apart from social, but if
like at the moment it's just my face, no name, no number. It says your price is my focus. Like just cool stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting things.
Yeah.
And things just come to mind. I'm like, that'd be good to do. They're not all great, but it's just the consistency of doing it.
And then executing and actually doing it. Right?
Yeah. So that would be my advice with marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's something you feel you need more improvement on to get to the next level?
The hardest thing for me at the moment is to stay away from the parties.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Fair enough. Are you single?
No, I've got a partner.
Oh,
but
well.
Makes
it easier when you got a partner.
Well, we like having fun.
She's into it too.
Well, like being an extrovert, right? Monday to Saturday, dialed in, most boring life, eating perfectly, training perfectly, sleeping perfectly. By the weekend, I'm like, what can we do that's fun?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's probably the hardest thing, and actually working within a team properly. I'm a bit of a bulldozer. I'm just like, get out of my way, like just sort of run over everybody to get things done.
Yeah.
But so I'm not great in a team, essentially.
Right.
I'm trying to work that out because I'm just like, get out of my way. I'll list a lot of properties. Everybody will financially do well from it. But making sure that everybody's happy. I know what they want out of their lives, that their families are good. It's just all that sort of stuff is new to me because I've always been soul focused. Yeah. Not an easy thing for me.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Do you think you'll have your own team one day or that
I'll take over this team?
You'll take over this team when Matt's...
Yeah, so Matt said to me, in the next 5 years, I'm hoping that I'm working for you. That's never going to happen. But as in...
Why not?
Well, like, he wants to be a part of the team, but not leading the team.
Guy.
He's still very much leading it. Yeah. So
but why he could work for you, maybe, in a couple of years?
It'd be an honour.
Yeah, of course.
But I think everybody would always respect his position within the team. I think what he's saying is he wants a bit more... Like I said, he's still very much leading the team. I think he wants that not to be the case over the next little bit.
Yeah, okay, cool. Do you yourself have an associate or anyone on your...
We share.
You share an associate?
Yeah, Matt and myself, Trevor, a buyer agent, 2 EAs.
Okay, and so how many sales do you want to get to?
Everything that we talk about is team focused. 200,
okay.
Yeah.
Because so 200 as a team?
Yeah, because every listing is a little different. So some of those in there as well, because we deal with one marketplace, I don't really have an ego in a way that if there's a new agent and they're 2 suburbs over and I've listed it with them to help them get a bit of traction in the space, right? Once I sell the property, I'll just go a second agent, just for them. Mm-hmm. So I don't really care, but we'd like to do 200.
200
but it's not a
as
focus.
team. Okay.
Yeah.
But I love that everything's a team goal.
It's all team
and you're
goal.
just doing your bit, you're doing as much as you can, but it's a team goal. You're all
Always
aiming for
team.
that team goal.
Otherwise, we'd just all be separate agents.
Yeah, true.
There's strength in the team.
Yeah.
And sometimes Matt and I will go out into a listing, and it might be a young guy that's resonating with me, and he'll say, I think you should talk to him. And I'll sort of go second. And then there's other people that I'm like, gee, that guy's pretty tough. He might need. And I'll say, I think you should speak to him, and I'll sort of just worry about selling it. So we make decisions along the way. Who is the appropriate person, and where do they fit into this listing?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's very unique the way you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Like it'd be great to have that. I think most teams would want that.
It can't happen with ego.
Yes.
The one thing that Matt doesn't have, and he probably did have in his early days, he has zero ego. He doesn't care. Every decision that is made is for what is right by the customer. Always.
Yeah.
We don't look at realestate.com or this, I got to be first and whatever it is. It's like, what is the right thing by the customer? And that's how we make the decisions.
Do you think you said he hasn't always been like that?
I think early on he would have had a huge ego.
Yeah, okay.
But I think when you get to the top of your game, it's like, well, what's the point, you know?
Do you think you'll do as much as Matt one day?
I hope I do more.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I look at it this way. Matt started from nothing with no real mentors. I've got a kickstart. I've attached onto momentum. I've had great training from him and John. So hopefully I can use that base to slingshot a little further.
How much do you get to speak with John?
Whenever I like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you got him on quick dial?
I meet with him pretty much monthly, but we probably speak once a week.
That must be very valuable. One-on-one with John every week.
Insane. Yeah.
That's really
look, and I think
huge.
For them, there's a vested interest too. Like there's you got John has a Australia-wide company, Matt who has all the offices on the coast, who for them is the next in line to take over that. Like in our business, there isn't really anybody else. Like there's all of the older agents that have performed very well, but are probably getting to the end of their career. I don't think Johnny will ever retire. So I think having, and I'm so loyal, but for me to come up and be able to take that over is an honour. But I hope that that's their vision. It seems to be.
That's your vision.
It's my vision.
By the looks of it, which is awesome. So where do you see it in 10 years? What does the future look like for you, do you reckon?
We'd like to get to... Well, we were number one in McGrath for 8 years in a row, and last year we weren't. Our market's pretty difficult, coastal towns. Like the buyers can be turned on and off very quickly. It's not like a city. So we went from spending maybe 80% of our time listing and 20% selling to like 30% listing and 70% selling, try and get things sold. So, but we'd like to get back to number one, obviously 200 sales. I just want everybody in my team to be happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Truly.
And how big is your office right now?
In our Terrigal office, there's probably 15 agents, but in the company, across the 10 offices, there might be 150 or close to.
Yeah. Okay.
And then whatever other support staff.
Any mistakes you've made along the way that you would tell new agents to avoid?
Yeah. If you're young, keep your ego in check.
Yeah.
When I started in real estate and started getting a bit of traction, I went and ran to the best house and I've got the car and whatever, and the market turned and I was fucked.
Really? Like financially strapped?
Can't tell you. I just literally could have cried every day, pretty much waking up.
What did you do? Did you just get a way too expensive?
I just got rid of everything at a loss and just started again.
You actually had to sell your car and things?
Yeah, I managed to keep the houses that I had. But I think like the best, when you're early on, right, you're making all this money and you're spending it on stuff that doesn't matter. What I would say for a young person is like live like a student for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Keep your expenses at the absolute lowest and just be humble and just enjoy working. Like my little sister's just started in real estate. She's 20. She lives at home with mum. So she's got a car. She's got no properties. I said, this is the most exciting part of your career. Like you got nothing to worry about. You can enjoy life. You'll start earning great money. Don't go and buy anything silly. Because once you get to me now and you've got a few houses and you've got this and you want to do great and you've got pressure from Matt, you've got pressure from John, it's enjoyable, but it's like there's a lot of head noise as well all the time. So I would just enjoy it and be here for the long term. Live like a student, work an area that you love. Don't look at everybody else. Just worry about yourself. Just try your best to be happy.
Mate, I love that. I wish there was more of that because there's way too much ego in the real estate industry, which is probably why everyone hates us. So let's get that message out there to keep the ego at a low level. We're just selling houses. We're not cutting brains open and saving people like that. But mate, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. Congratulations on all your success. I can see why. Like, you're a great speaker. You've got great energy. You've obviously got the work ethic to back it up. Mate, I see a huge future ahead of you. Would love to get you back on the potty in a couple of years when, you know, you're taking over Matt. But good luck on stage tomorrow, and thanks so much for your time here on the Get Keen podcast.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please show your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And make sure you subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't stop there. Join our community of forward thinkers by connecting with me on social media at Dan_Lee_Plum. I'm looking forward to exploring more strategies and insights with you on your journey to the top. Until next time, keep getting keen.